Before burnout, there is work fatigue. Work fatigue is a chronic job stress that has begun affecting the worker mentally, emotionally, physically, ethically, and spiritually. It often appears before disease fully manifests. That is why workers may present to the doctor with real symptoms and still leave feeling dismissed. Black women, sorry, this happens particularly for Black women. They go into the doctor and they feel dismissed, confused, or unseen. The issue is not always that the doctor has ignored them. Doctors are positioned to diagnose, to provide treatment, and to do disease management. Workforce care is led by nurses who is created to prevent death, injury, disease, to assess, to help you to navigate systems, and we provide work context so that you are clear that the disease, symptoms of a disease, manifested because of workplace issues and not an internal chemicals are off balance in the brain. We do this before your symptoms, which are warning you of something to come, turns into disease, crises, or even workforce loss. I'm Glennae Davis. I'm the founder and CEO at Glennae's Arts for Life. We are a career burnout consultancy and healthcare education agency where we provide expert and expert and specialized knowledge, understanding, and application for Black career women and registered nurses who are dealing with job stress that lasts them longer than 6 weeks and is beginning to cause them some work fatigue that may lead them into the system using FMLA, where 12 weeks pass and they're not getting better. They return to work needing an ADA accommodation to do the same job that they were doing just fine before they left out. And the workplace situation is still the same as well. So we help address and confront those situations, healing the individual. Today we're talking about many workers are afraid to tell the truth about their job. So I want you to imagine just for a moment that you are employed, you're working, you're told with all enthusiasm, with all rally behind the administration, the management, upper management, that if you see something, say something. But then the moment you do, the moment you report, the moment you enter into the open door policy, their behavior changes. Suddenly, you're left out of meetings, forgotten to be CC'd in emails. Oh, you didn't get the invite to Thursday night's cocktails? I'm sorry. Next time, we'll be sure to include you. You're being written off for something you were told to do, and then you're also being put on a performance improvement paperwork evaluation for something that happened a long time ago. Now you're walking around on eggshells. You don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. So you decide to do nothing. Doing nothing in a workplace environment where you are expected to follow the policies and the procedures is what we call, is what my psych colleagues call fawn or freeze. Fawning and freezing are two reactions or behaviors to acute stress that does not work well in your favor in the workplace because you have rules, you have rights, you have policies, conditions of employment, expectations that you are supposed to be executing and adhering to. And not one of them requires for you to be quiet about a situation that matters. Yes, the egos are going to get bruised. Yes, people may be upset with you. And still, yes, you are doing the right thing in the workplace by responding professionally and appropriately to the things that matter in the workplace. When you come into workforce care, we will help you apply the nursing process to your situation. We will assess. We will make a judgment, which is a nursing diagnosis, to the environment that is causing the issues. We will plan, we will implement, we will intervene, and we will evaluate. This is all part of Peri FMLA because timelines matter when you're dealing with chronic job stress. 6 weeks is a very long time to let workplace issues trespass on your mental. A very long time. But sometimes it is best to wait and evaluate and see what is happening, how you feel about it. Has it taken seed in you or has it made peace in you? Like taking seed means things need to grow, things are happening in the darkness. Is there some good that can come out of this? Sometimes things happen to us, and that was just for us to take note, to take a mental note. And you will know it because it made peace within you. There's nothing pulling you, there's no focus on it, there's no desire on it. That person can rest in what it is that happened in the workplace. However, if ruminating thoughts are coming along with that, if you are having insomnia because of it, if you are emotionally eating because of it, if you are out with friends and family and you just cannot stop talking about what happened at work, then that means that there's something that you need to do. There is meaning to what happened, and it is up to you to take an assessment, to make a judgment, to also plan, create a health equity plan, because what's at risk here? Your health is at risk. Your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, your ethical health. All of that is at risk. And so, what you want to do is be able to sit down with someone who specializes in workplace care, in opposed to going to therapy or in opposed to going to a doctor where you are going to just be asked about the symptoms that you are experiencing so that they can help you to manage those symptoms, to quiet those symptoms, but never address the situation that is causing those symptoms. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to do anything about your bully. Maybe you don't want to do anything about your harasser or your oppressor. That is completely your right. This message is not for you. But there are some people who are like, you want me to take this pill and that behavior continues, but I have no cares to mount about it? I don't think that's right. I don't even think that's appropriate for the situation. This is why workforce care is here for you so that you can have your peri FMLA time to decide what is happening in the workplace. You can get a plan to enter into the system because when you take FMLA, that is your entry point into the system. You're going into the system whether you like it or not. And what you do while you're in that system for 12 weeks is going to determine how you come out. If you're going to come out and be able to return to work, empowered and encouraged, filing the lawsuit that you need to file, sending off the paperwork, putting your employer on notice about the discrimination patterns that you have noticed. And we're going to do all of this without including your feelings because they're not your lover. Why are you writing them a Dear John letter? They don't care about your feelings. Their attorneys will mop you up, they will break you down, chew you up, spit you out, and mop you up with your feelings. Trust me, I've been through mediation, I've been through the court system. No one cares about your feelings, but you do, which is why God says to guard your heart. Out of it is the well springs of life. Okay. When you do our peri FMLA, we happen to go through the nursing process. We do an assessment of you to see how you are handling the situation, whether or not you are adapting well to it, whether or not you are maladaptive to it, whether or not you have a wellness component, a healthy mindset and attitude towards what it is that you are experiencing and is happening through you. We're going to make a judgment of it. We're going to diagnose the situation where we are judging the environment, the situational situation, so that you, when you go into the system, because you could take FMLA without having a mental illness diagnosis. FMLA is for your own serious health condition. Burnout is a serious health condition. Moral distress is a serious health condition. We will write it up the best way for you to empower and to encourage you, to strengthen you, and to move you through the system, preventing you from becoming a victim of the situation, okay? So I did talk about the 6 weeks is a long time to be letting work issues trespass on your mental health. And like I said, sometimes it takes time for things to just be at peace and be at rest within you, and you're able to continue to move on. I'm not talking about you just coming to make a decision to say, you know what, I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to wait on God. But do you know, waiting on God is an active process also. Sometimes when we wait on God, it means in the system situation, it means that you are not, sorry, my allergies bothering me, that you are not negotiating away your rights, that you are not being passive about the things that you need to be active about, because waiting on God also comes with the command to do all that you can do to stand and then stand. So that is also waiting on God. Waiting on God looks like waiting for the truth of the situation, waiting for the light of your situation. These things take an assessment and a waiting period for you to understand how to apply the policy, how to apply your employment rights to your situation, and not just begin to practice idolatry and say, okay, well, I have this mental illness, so whatever is happening is not my fault. I don't need to take accountability, and I can take this medication to help me. That's not always the truth for Black women and RNs who are dealing with issues in the workplace. I spent 2 years in psychiatry, and at the end of 2 years, the psychiatrist is like, Glenay, are you depressed? Woman, what? I've been sitting here every week for 45 minutes, every day, every week for 45 minutes. You have given me umpteen pills, antidepressants, and antipsychotics to try. You have asked me every week whether or not I wanted to have, if I had thoughts of And then, my situation. Uh, yes. Have you ever faced discrimination? A white lady from Canada. This is hard. This is hard. And I had to literally tell her, I had an attorney to keep her from putting delusional on my record. So when you enter into the system, if you don't know what you're doing, if you are not doing all that you can do to stand, you're going to be swept away. That is what is happening to so many Black women and registered nurses who rightfully are taking their FMLA, but finding it extremely difficult to get back to work because they've been misdiagnosed, mismanaged, and mismedicated when all you needed was specialized understanding of your situation, specialized knowledge of your situation, and a specialized application of your situation so that you move through healthy and whole and doing the things that it is that you were asked to do. Because if you are seeing an awareness in the workplace and you are being quiet about it, that means that you are denying the truth and the light from coming through you. So if 6 weeks passes and you're still, okay, decide for yourself today whether or not you want to address the situation that you are facing that has a chokehold, a stronghold on you, and will not continue to let you live your best life until you address the situation. Decide today whether or not that situation has been ruminating in you and sitting in you for longer than 6 weeks. If you want help to address that situation, to confront that situation, and be led by the truth and the light of that situation. We are here for you at the Workforce Care Center. We want to make sure that you do not fall victim. Work fatigue is a real thing. Let me just talk to you a little bit about what work fatigue is. Let me get to my notes over here. There are 5 levels of work fatigue. We have your physical fatigue, which is your chronic exhaustion, your sleep, not having restoring sleep and lacking energy, headaches, body pains, elevated blood pressure, muscle tension, GI issues, difficulty recovering between shifts or work days. I like to say that your Monday grind is lasting all week. Some people say that you're on that hamster wheel. You looking for Wednesday to come, hump day, like you should not be counting time like that. Your mental fatigue, it's a brain fog, difficulty concentrating, rereading emails repeatedly, decision fatigue, forgetfulness, overthinking, difficulty organizing thoughts, emotional fatigue, crying before or after work, emotional numbness, irritability, dread, anger, feeling overwhelmed but still functioning, feeling sad, anxious, and reactive without knowing why. Ethical fatigue, knowing something is wrong but staying silent. Moral distress, unsafe staffing concerns, feeling forced to work against your values, silencing concerns, participating in unsafe or harmful conditions, feeling trapped between survival and integrity. Then we have the spiritual fatigue, where you're losing connection with yourself, with your God. You feel like Yahweh is not present with you. You're feeling disconnected from purpose, hopelessness, emotional depletion, feeling like work is consuming your identity, feeling disconnected from faith, calling, or the person you used to be. This is why knowing your level of extreme, knowing your level of fatigue is extremely important. There are five: physical, mental, emotional, ethical, and spiritual. Which one is trying to take you out? Which one is trying to call you? Which one is being, are you being pulled and gravitated towards? Which one is a serious health condition and threat to your health? Your health equity goal is our health equity goal. And until you know that, until you know where you are, you cannot possibly understand what your next move is. You're going to be left with your symptoms. Enter into the medical industry, give them a symptom, they'll give you a diagnosis and a prescription, and your situation remains the same. Or you can come and take our work fatigue quiz. Identify which level of work fatigue you are experiencing. Talk about the symptoms, but then also talk about the workplace that is causing the spike of cortisol levels that is threatening your health. And then we address the situation that is unique to you. Black women and RNs, you guys are freezing and fawning under these stress lasting longer than 6 weeks, and that's contributing to your poverty fears. That is contributing to your health fears. You have to refocus, regain attention, regain momentum in the correct way. You don't want those symptoms, that freezing and fawn, to contribute to ineffective behaviors or ineffective use of using FMLA, intermittent FMLA. This contributes to presenteeism and absenteeism, low employee morale. You don't want to work that way either, because you're supposed to be working, making your name great. You're supposed to be working as if you're working unto the Lord, and He will make your name great. So if you find yourself withholding information that is important for you to be speaking, but you're not speaking it because you've seen what they have done to other people who have spoken up, and you're wondering whether or not you should say something, ask yourself one very important question. Am I harming someone knowing that my silence is the problem, and that someone can be yourself? Ask yourself, am I harming someone remaining silent? Is remaining silent causing you to have stress and anxiety, depression, over drinking, over sexing, over shopping? If the answer is yes, then you must say something. Workers who are afraid to tell the truth about their jobs are the same workers suffering mental health issues and bottlenecking the mental health industry from people who need mental health services. You, my love, are faith based, college educated, career driven, already determined that you are disciplined, a finisher, the creme de la creme of this nation. You need solutions, workable, doable, and affordable solutions, not to become a victim of your circumstances. Remember to take that work fatigue quiz. I look forward to talking to you. Until next time, be well.